modern money theory. It began in the early 1990s when the internet was relatively new. A discussion group online was created, maybe one of the first, maybe the first, I don't know. It was called Post-Keynesian Thought. And post-Keynesian economics follows John Maynard Keynes, and it's what we call a heterodox approach to economics. It's outside the mainstream. But all the top heterodox economists around the world were on this discussion group. And this guy came on, and he started saying things that on the surface seemed very strange, very bizarre. But as I read his comments and thought about them, I could see that he was just using different terminology. That a lot of things he was saying existed in various branches of heterodox economics. And so online, he would say things, and most people respond, "This is crazy." And then a few of us sort of started catching on. We said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like, okay, Hyman Minsky. That sounds like George Frederick Knapp," and so on. And so he started communicating with us. And one of the ideas he had that became very important to opening up this new approach to economics is he was a hedge fund manager who specialized in trading bonds. And sometime in the early 1980s, he said, the Fed sells bonds. We call it monetary policy. It's called an open market operation. And the Treasury sells bonds. We call that borrowing. We say it's part of fiscal policy. He said, functionally, they are identical. They're the same operation by the government, just two different branches, the central bank branch and the Treasury branch. But for the non-government sector, the impact is exactly the same. Okay? And so when he wrote that, it just opened up our minds. We say, we've been looking at government finance wrong. Okay? And virtually all economists have got it wrong. So I'll come back to that, explain why this was so important. He wrote a little, a thick pamphlet called Soft Currency Economics. That was the first publication that started to lay out this approach to economics and specifically to government finance. And then I wrote the book that John mentioned, Understanding Modern Money, in 1998. That came out. And so that was the first academic publication of this approach to economics. And we used to meet every year with Warren, and we would say, how many people now understand what we're talking about? It took about 5 years to get up to the fingers on one hand. And 10 years we were up to, we had to use both hands. Okay. It was very rough going, very slow. Until the blogosphere. Now, just when you go home tonight, Google modern money theory. You're going to get literally millions of hits. There are thousands of people around the world, most of them not in academics, okay? Vast majority not economists, who could give a pretty good summary of what modern money theory is all about.